Rev up your engines!
Barry Moo Gary. What do you think about electric cars? What do you think about buying a used electric car? Okay, well, that's a good question because, one, electric cars are simpler. Realize their motor is an electric motor. They don't need a transmission, so they're much simpler vehicles. Of course, realize there's not that many places you can recharge them when you're traveling, so you got to take that into consideration. But then you say, what do you think about buying a used electric car? Okay, that in itself may not be a bad idea. For one main reason is they lose their values pretty fast. And so if somebody buys an electric car for, say, 35 grand and it's used, you might be able to get it for 15 or so because they're not all that popular. So if you're going to buy an electric car, like I say, they are simpler cars. There's less things to break. Buying a used one like that might be a really good idea. I don't advise buying used hybrid cars because they're too complicated. They got a gas engine, they got an electric engine, they switch back and forth. But an electric car that's full electric, buying one used is probably the smartest idea if you want an electric car. Night Rider says, Scotty, I have no 5 Honda Civic. When I'm driving and give it gas, it feels it revs up, but it doesn't take off. Okay, let's pray you have a standard transmission. Because if you have a standard transmission Civic and it revs up and it doesn't take off, it means your clutch is worn out and it's time for a new clutch. But on the other hand, if you have an automatic transmission Civic and it revs up and doesn't take off, you need a transmission overhaul. And on the Hondas, you're going to spend anywhere from $3,000 up to have a full overhaul done on a Honda automatic transmission. They're weak transmissions and they're very complicated and they're very expensive to work on because they're not like other cars. Other automatic transmissions have an oil pan on the bottom. You can drop the oil pan, get to a lot of parts. Hondas don't. You got to take them apart like a motorcycle transmission, take them off the car and then split the cases. It's a very expensive endeavor to do something like that. Joseph Proya says, Scotty, I have a 2001 Grand Marquis with 109,000 miles on it. It runs great, the frame is great, but it needs a front end rebuild. Do you think it's worth it? And how much for parts and labor? Well, if it runs great and it's in good shape and it's only got 109,000 miles, yes, go ahead and fix it. Now, of course, I can't give you a quote without seeing the car. It depends on what needs to be rebuilt, but they made an awful lot of those things. There's a big aftermarket. You don't have to go to Ford and buy an expensive A-frame. You can get aftermarket ones that work perfectly fine and go that route. And if you want to do it yourself, watch my videos on front-end work. Or if you're going to a mechanic, ask him what parts he's going to use, how much labor he's going to cost, and see what the prices are in your area. Steve Morris says, Scotty, I have $20,000 to spend on a used car. Quality and serviceability are key with decent gas mileage. What make, model, year do you recommend it? Okay, $20K. Hey, get a nice used Camry if you want a nice car. Now, if you can find a Lexus for the same price, what the heck? I mean, I bought my wife's Lexus for $4 grand from a customer with 60,000 miles, but I got lucky. So, you know, a nice Camry, or if you want a smaller car, get a Corolla. Those things can last a really long time, and there's plenty of them out there. My advice, though, is try to get it from a private individual, because if you go to these car lots, they always ask really high dollar because generally they're financing it and they're going to charge you more since they're financing. And if you got 20 grand to plunk down cash, get a private deal. You're going to get a better price that way.
So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.